how the 1% meditate and awaken the divine within. So let's get real. Meditation these days is a mess. Everyone's teaching something different. Apps, guided audios, 10-minute hacks, manifest this, heal that. It's become noisy, confusing, and diluted. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not alone. There are hundreds of meditation techniques and teachings, but here is the truth. The 1%, those who have tapped into a deeper divine intelligence, don't chase techniques or experiences. They return to something much simpler and far more powerful. This video will give you the real blueprint of how the 1% meditate, not to get something, but to become something greater. Meditation isn't about doing more, it's about becoming less. So the divine can become more within you. So this video isn't going to give you one more flashy technique to stack on top of your already busy spiritual to-do list. This is about returning to the source, to the core of meditation, to that simple, sacred space where awakening and healing begins. Stay till the end, because this will shift your entire understanding of meditation from a practice to a path to the divine. So number one, the 1% don't seek experiences, they seek the divine. Meditation isn't about chasing visions, mystical experiences, or energy buzzes. The awakened ones, the 1%, don't meditate to feel something, they meditate to surrender to something far greater than themselves. Truth seekers don't seek experiences, they seek the divine. If you meditate just to experience something, you're setting yourself up for disappointment, because not every session will be flashy. But when you shift your aim, when you seek the divine itself, the quality of your presence changes. And when you stop chasing, the deepest experiences come naturally. Number two, it's not about getting something out of meditation. Meditation is its own reward. Connection to divine is its own reward. Most people meditate with a quiet checklist in their mind. Maybe this will help me manifest more money. Maybe this will bring me healing. Maybe I'll get some intuitive guidance today. That's totally human and acceptable, understandable. We all want clarity. We all want relief. We all want growth. But the 1% have flipped the script. They sit not to get, but to surrender, to offer their full presence and devotion, their ego, their restlessness, their problems, everything to the divine, to the soul, to wisdomize, just laid at the feet of the presence within. They're not there to negotiate, they're there to devote. And strangely enough, it is in that letting go that real power begins to flow. The healing, the clarity, the abundance, all of that comes, but not as a transaction with the divine. It comes as a result of this union with the divine. Number three, set a clear intention before you meditate. Energy responds to it. So yes, healing meditations, abundance meditations, chakra balancing, they all have value. But when we jump between techniques without clarity, we scatter our energy. Energy responds to consciousness. Consciousness directs energy through intention. So simplify. Start with one powerful intention, to know the divine within. This becomes your spiritual compass. From here, everything else, healing, clarity, abundance, becomes a byproduct. So you see, your energy, your awareness follows your intention. And in a world where there are thousands of meditation styles, it is easy to keep switching back and forth and ending up nowhere. It's like digging 100 shallow holes and never reaching water. Healing meditations are great if they come from a place of connection with the divine, not skipping the divine and using meditation only as a means to some end. So are abundance meditations, chakra alignments, breath work, all of it has its place. But the key is to start with one strong, clear intention. I suggest that just set the intention to know and commune with the divine. Make that your spiritual North Star. When your intention is clear, your energy aligns and your entire being begins to orient itself towards something greater. And from that alignment, healing happens. Abundance flows. Intuition becomes a natural. You can still add those other techniques later, but let this be your foundation, your connection to the divine within you. And after that, you may add the intention of receiving the healing energy or receiving the abundant flow of life or whatever. So, number 4, meditation isn't a practice, it is presence. Meditation isn't something you do, it's something you are. It is not about posture, technique, duration. It is about moment to moment awareness, moment to moment presence with Source, with God. Return to the simplest, most sacred rhythm you have, that is your breath. We often think of meditation as a morning routine or an evening wind down, but the real depth begins when you stop treating it as a task and start seeing it as a way of being, a moment-to-moment presence with Source. One of the most effective ways to reconnect with that presence is to go back to the basics. Just sit, close your eyes, and begin following your breath. No forcing, no control, no agenda. Just be with that natural rhythm of your inhale and exhale. Sounds simple, but it is powerful because what you're really doing is aligning yourself with the divine's rhythm in you. Number 5, embrace nothingness. It is not empty. So one of the most common traps, you finally learn to quiet your mind, but before you enter the gateway to heaven, you encounter this nothingness. You say, I feel nothing, it's just empty, it's just dark, it's blank, no vision, no feelings, no mystical lights. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but here is the key. Nothingness is not absence, it is essence. That silence, that void, embrace it because it is filled with presence, with God. Even if your senses don't yet register it, it's there. I know that feeling. It can be discouraging, especially when you have this expectation that you're going to have some grand cosmic moment. But here's what I've come to learn and what the 1% understand. In nothingness, that nothingness you're experiencing, that's not a failure, that's a threshold. Silence, stillness, emptiness, they are not devoid of God, they are full of God, but requires fine-tuning your inner senses to perceive that. Even if your mind doesn't register anything mystical, your soul is drinking in the presence. So don't run from the void. Be grateful for it because that space, that quiet is where the divine begins to whisper. The true seeker gives thanks for even the blankness because they know that stillness is the threshold. Emptiness is the invitation. Number 6, approach every meditation with a beginner's mindset. The greatest block to spiritual depth is, I already know this. The 1% cultivate childlike curiosity and wonder. Every session is a new session. Every moment is alive. No expectation, no pressure to achieve anything. Just a sincere, open-hearted curiosity. What it's like to be with God. The moment you think you know how to meditate, you've closed a door. That is why the most awakened meditators, no matter how experienced, approach every session with what the Zen calls the beginner's mind. No expectation, no performance, just wonder. Imagine sitting in silence like a child, seeing snow for the first time. Every breath is new, every pause is full of potential. This mindset clears the mental clutter. It removes spiritual ego and keeps you open, humble, and deeply receptive, the way true seekers always are. Number 7, your presence determines the quality of your meditation. Forget about how long you have to sit. The quality of your meditation is the depth of your presence. If you are attentive, sincere, and clear, even 5 minutes becomes sacred. Make your presence intentional, make it alive, make it count. When you show up fully, the divine meets you there. That is the true secret of the 1%. You don't need hours of sitting. You don't need perfect posture or technique. What matters most is your presence. How fully you show up. How deeply you surrender. How authentic is your desire for union. If you bring clear intention, even 5 minutes can open you up for something profound. But if your mind is scattered, distracted, or you're just going through the motion, even an hour won't move the needle for you. So ask yourself gently, am I truly here? Am I present with the omnipresence? Because when you are, that is when meditation becomes more than a practice. It becomes a sacred connection. It becomes a sacred meeting with the divine. So final thoughts, you don't need the perfect technique. You don't need mystical experiences. You don't need to get something out of meditation. You just need to show up simply, sincerely, and silently to the presence of the divine within. And if this spoke to your heart, leave a comment below. What intention will you carry into your next meditation? Let's deepen our presence together. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more.